Devastating attack, not because they use the speed, but because they don't use the speed. One of the things Hostetler did last week, he checked off at the line of scrimmage. He threw underneath because Minnesota was playing back. If Seattle plays back, he will do the same thing tonight. And you can expect the Seahawks not to be unhappy if they don't win this game. I think they would like to, but they have a tremendous amount to gain if their quarterback, Rick Meyer, plays well and gains confidence. They have to be looking down the road for this guy to mature and become a great NFL quarterback.
Bob Golick's going to be with us at halftime and in the post-game show, and Bob is going to give us a look at what really goes on inside locker rooms at halftime. Stay with us for that. You don't want to miss it. Coming up in just...
making the right reads and making the right calls, and just felt good about the whole thing.
Well, I thought...
Welcome to the Great Northwest in Seattle, Washington, where tonight the Seattle Seahawks make their 1993 home debut for a noisy sellout crowd in the Kingdome. The Seahawks square off against their AFC West rivals, the Los Angeles Raiders, who have won the last 6 games in this series, but they know it's very tough to win here. They trail in the series here 6 games to 8. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender. The Seahawks last year suffered through their worst record in franchise history. They went 2-14. They had a very respectable defense, but they had the worst offense in the NFL. As an end result, with the number 2 pick in the draft, they chose Notre Dame quarterback Rick Meyer. And Pat Hayden, with all the early results in, it looks like a great choice. For the 5th time in the last 7 years, they won 7-9. Their downward spiral centers around their poor play at quarterback. Since Jim Plunkett retired, they've gone through 7 quarterbacks. So they signed Jeff Hostetler in the offseason, and they hope they resolve that controversy.
Well, after 1 week, it's going to be a much different Raider team, it certainly looks like, with Jeff Hostetler. You know, the defense played so well last year, but they had erratic play at quarterback. They looked at 15 different quarterbacks in the offseason, decided on Jeff Hostetler for a couple of reasons. He's a Raider type of guy in that he's mentally and physically tough, and he doesn't make mistakes. And Gary, the thing about him is he can find the open receiver if you get guys open. So all the receivers now in the Raider passing attack will be working to get open.
Now, one of the outstanding matchups we're going to have is in the trenches tonight. NFL Defensive Player of the Year Cortez Kennedy of Seattle going against 3-time Pro Bowl guard Steve Wisniewski.
Well, you know, I love this matchup because this is really going to be a fun one. And although there may be some stalemates in this matchup because they're both very good players, the game will key on several matchups, and this is clearly one of them. Cortez Kennedy in the middle of this defense. He has been, Tom Walsh, the coach of the Raiders, said about Cortez Kennedy, he said he plays in that middle, and you have to account for him every single play because if you don't, he'll raise havoc. Well, Steve Wisniewski, a Pro Bowl player himself, will be assigned the task of controlling Cortez Kennedy. 4 or 5 matchups that will decide the game tonight, and that is certainly one of them.
So the Raiders come in here 1-0. They defeated the Vikings 24-7. They just dominated them. And Art Shell, who is 46 years of age, who played for Tom Flores when he was a head coach of the Los Angeles Raiders from 79 to 82. The Seahawks, on the other hand, are 0-1. They lost to San Diego 18-12 as they kept San Diego out of the end zone, but John Carney kicked 6 field goals. And a guy making his debut in the NFL, Rocket Ishmael. This guy playing 2 years in the Canadian Football League with Toronto. I guess he's going to launch it tonight. The Rocket. We'll see him in an abbreviated role, and this is an explosive, exciting football player, the former All-America from Notre Dame. Ishmael, his brother, of course, Cadre this year, playing for the Minnesota Vikings. Pat, all day long and all day yesterday, we heard from the coaches how tough it is to play here. The noise level is really severe, and the Raiders are expecting a lot of difficulty.
Yeah, and that's why it's very, very important for the Raiders to get off to a good start. You know, run the football, you know, be a little bit methodical. When you get inside that 20, you want to get in short yardage situations. They've had trouble over the years down here in the scoring area because of the crowd noise, and that's one of the reasons the Seattle team is a very good short yardage and goal line team at home because of the crowd noise.
Art Shell this year had kind of some bad news as far as his health is concerned. They found out after tests that he was diabetic, but he's been able to control that through a diet as well as some exercise. He's lost 24 pounds. As John Casey will get ready to kick it off, the Raiders won the toss. They will receive. Alexander Wright, Napoleon McCallum is back deep. This is McCallum. And they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So Jeff Hostetler The new quarterback, coming off of a strong performance last week when he was 23 of 27. He hit 15 passes in a row, which is a Raider record. He has great awareness, a good decision maker, doesn't throw very many interceptions, and the one thing you notice about him, he is a fierce competitor, and he scares the Seahawks because he can take off and run. Steve Smith will go in motion, play action by Hostetler. Going for all of it. Down here is Tim Brown, and he's being bounced at the 35-yard line. Double coverage that time. Dwayne Harper, also Eugene Robinson on the play.
Gary, Tim Brown slowed down. I don't think he thought he was going to get the ball. I mean, they come out, you know, you think on the very first play when you're going to throw the ball deep, the guys would know it, but it looked like he slowed down and he didn't expect it. Yeah, right there. And the ball gets, it was a well-thrown ball there actually by Jeff Hostetler, but some miscommunication there with Brown.
Second down 10 from the 20-yard line. Just underway from the Kingdom. Hostetler with time. Over the middle, complete to Alexander Wright, and that'll be enough for the first down. Out to the 35-yard line. That is a 15-yard pickup. Let's look offensively now at this Raider team. Robinson, a rookie. First rookie to start since Marcus Allen for the Raiders. Smith, Brown, you saw right a moment ago, and Horton, the outstanding tight end. Perry, who they picked up from the Rams. Wisniewski, Mosbar, Montoya, who's 37 years old, and Ken Lanier is going in place of Bruce Wilkerson, who's out with a knee problem.
5 new starters from a year ago on offense.
From the 35, first down. Greg Robinson. The Seahawks jammed that one up, led by number 96, Cortez Kennedy. A remarkable athlete, running so well for that size.
This is a game about some very powerful people. This is Cortez Kennedy, and watch the push he gets on Don Mosbar. Now, when you think about Cortez Kennedy, he's 300 pounds. He can run sideline to side. He's an unusual guy. Doesn't look like he's got a lot of quickness and speed, but this guy can win football games as a defensive tackle.
Second down 10. Hostetler again to the air, and he makes the connection again with Wright, and Wright may have the first down out across the 45. It's an 11-yard pickup, first down, as Wright receiving 2 of those first down catches. Defensively, Bryant and Nash, they've been along each side for 12 years. We mentioned about Kenny. Tua Tagovailoa, Wooden, who checked in late this year at a 33-day holdout, and Rufus Porter seeing his first action. He's had some hamstring problems. This is a very solid, a very smart secondary for Seattle. Steve Smith on the first down gets maybe a yard to the 46-yard line.
Gary, interesting about the Raiders. I mean, they're trying to do a couple of things. This play, they're going to run right at number 96. That's Cortez Kennedy with a double team. You got Mosbar, you got Wisniewski, you know, and just like you don't play chess with a guy whose name ends in a V, you don't block him with one guy. You need 2 guys on Cortez Kennedy.
All right, I'll remember that. Second down and 9. Rod Stevens and Joe Nash arrive at the 40-yard line, and Hostetler a coverage sack because he had time to get rid of the football. A loss back to the 40-yard line.
Well, this game is going to be dominated by defenses, and the outcome will be decided by turnovers. And what Jeff Hostetler does here, he realizes he's got a pretty good defense. He's not going to force the ball. Last year, Raider quarterbacks threw 23 interceptions. Hostetler only threw 3. That's one of the reasons he's here.
He's only thrown 13 in his entire career. 3rd and 15. The blitz may be coming. Eugene Robinson on the blitz. That's almost picked up. Carlton Gray, the rookie from UCLA, who had an interception last week, almost had his second in as many games. A second-round draft pick who they thought would not be on the board when the second round came around. 4th down. Jeff Gossett to come in and punt the football.
I think one of the most effective punters in all of the National Football League. Jeff Gossett is the best angle punter in the NFL.
Kelvin Martin, the former Dallas Cowboy, is back. Gossett gets it high, not especially long. Fair catch called for and made by Kelvin Martin. That will be a 34-yard punt. And so Seattle will have the football for the first time. Rookie Rick Meyer will come out to run the team.
Nice little start there, Gary.
Good pacing.
Yeah,
good
good
pacing.
job.
You already came out with one of those. No.
Hey.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, I don't know if everybody can hear it, but I've got so much crowd.
Will resurrect this Seahawks offense. They feel he's the real thing, right? He learns so quickly. The thing they were talking about, he just kind of takes a picture of what's going on, and he has it. Has very good poise, and as the coaches told us, he has the kind of arm that can make all the throws. Ryan Blades will go in motion. Meyer to throw on 1st down. John L. Williams makes the catch short of the 30-yard line. John L. Williams had 74 catches last year, 2nd among NFL running backs. John L. Williams, along with Chris Warren, will be in the backfield. He exploded on the scene a year ago. We mentioned Blades, Martin, and Edmonds, a big tight end who came over from Miami. This offensive line has been really shuffled around. Andy Heck, who started at left tackle last year, now the starting right tackle for Seattle. 2nd down coming up, 7. John L's trying to run the far side. He may have gotten a yard out to the 30-yard line. Good reaction that time by Winston Moss, number 99, the veteran who played 4 years for Tampa Bay. Looking defensively at this Raider forward wall, it's very good. Howie Long, 7 times in the Pro Bowl. McLaughlin, well, he's 325 pounds. If there was sun in here, he would block it out. Wallace, Kelly, and Moss, that's the linebacking core. And Terry McDaniel, along with Lionel Washington, in the estimation of Art Shell, are playing the best of any cornerbacks he's ever had. Third and 6 for Meyer. Little swing pass. This is Chris Warren. Warren will not get the 1st down.
Now, this is what the Seahawks did last week. They kind of dinked it here, dinked it there.
The NFL back to punt this one.
You know, the Raiders feel that they can block a punt tonight.
Tim Brown back to receive it. Beautiful punt. Brown at the 15-yard line. Out to the 20. And Brown brings it out to the 28. He had a 71-yard punt return last week, called back because of a penalty. He returned that one 12 yards, a 52-yard punt by Tootin. From the Kingdome in the Pacific Northwest, we have no score. We'll start this series from the 29-yard line. Greg Robinson, Steve Smith in the backfield. That's Robinson in motion. Costello showing his mobility, coming out of there, out to the 35 and diving forward to the 36-yard line. This is what scares Seattle. You get him hemmed in, and all of a sudden he takes off, and he's like a running back.
Well, they have not had this at quarterback position the last few years. A guy who makes good decisions, is not going to force it. He's a pretty good runner, but there's also a 300-pounder, number 96 for the Seahawks, Cortez Kennedy, who's a pretty good runner as well. I mean, there's a 300-pounder who can move his feet pretty well.
Yes, sir. 2nd down and 2. Gain of 8 on that scramble. Changing the play now at the line of scrimmage. Tough for the noise. Tim Brown, and Brown's got the 1st down across the 40 to the 41. This is their new go-to guy. In the past, they were bringing him up in 3rd down situations, but now he is the guy they look for.
Well, this was a nice audible by Hostetler because of how deep the defenders play. Look at all that room there. I mean, he called the audible, saw he only needed 2 yards. And when you have the threat of going deep, as the Raiders do with their speed, including Tim Brown, I tell you, that makes those short passes a heck of a lot easier.
They're like a track team on the outside. 1st down at the 41. Steve Smith, the single running back. Hostetler going up top. Brown is down there. The ball is up. Make that Alexander Wright, and he makes a catch inside the 20. And there's some of the speed we're talking about. A 42-yarder. This guy, for the second year in a row, won the NFL's fastest man competition, and he just flew by the defense.
Gary, a completely different offensive game plan than a week ago against Minnesota when they kind of dinked the ball. First play was a long play to Tim Brown. They come back on their second series and throw it deep to Alexander Wright. And again, if you don't catch the ball, you do the best you can for your other wide receivers. Yeah, there you go. Ethan Horton, the tight end.
Little cheerleading there. 42-yard gain. Greg Robinson, the rookie, takes it inside the 15 to the 14-yard line.
But think about the Raiders in this first quarter, Gary. They have thrown 2 deep balls. One to Tim Brown, which was incomplete. That one to Alexander Wright. That will set up everything else the rest of this game.
I think Art Shell, he admitted last night to us, this could be his best Raider team.
I think quietly he absolutely believes that it is. And with Jeff Hostetler being as accurate as he is on offense, their defense, the Raiders' defense, is not going to be on the field as long and play well.
2nd and 5. Hostetler trying to hit Steve Smith. Pretty good coverage that time. Linebacker Terry Wooden was there. It'll bring up a 3rd down.
You know, Art Shell was saying about Jeff Hostetler, hey, he doesn't make many mistakes. He doesn't take many negative plays, no sacks, no interceptions. And he also said if we can score at least 20 points a game, he didn't think anybody could beat him. That's how much confidence he has in his defense. He also thinks his special teams is the best he's ever had because of all the young speed he has on it.
Here's what happened last week on 3rd down.
Now this is a down for Tim Brown. Over the years, they featured Tim Brown on 3rd downs.
3rd and 5. Hostetler scrambling out of there. He sees some running room. Gets to the 10. He's got a 1st and goal, I believe. He's very close to it as he's knocked out of bounds in the vicinity of the 7-yard line.
Did he put a move on Bob Spitowski, the middle linebacker, number 58. Number 58 there on the right of the screen is their nickel linebacker. Now again, Hostetler can run the football, but he can also give you a little head fake. Spitowski's right there, 58. He goes down. Hostetler picks up the 1st. I mean, and then he's got the straight arm. I mean, this guy maybe should have been a Raider a long time ago.
He's carried twice now for 15 yards, Pat. 1st and goal at the 7. Greg Robinson, powerful runner. Takes it inside the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal there. They were talking about Greg Robinson's strong legs, how he'll break tackles. They kind of think maybe he's got some of Barry Foster in him. That's quite a compliment. 2nd and goal just inside the 4.
When you think about the Raiders, when the Raiders were really good, their championship teams, they could really run the football and ended up in 2nd and short and 3rd and short a lot. They have that chance this year to be that kind of running football team.
Double tight end alignment. Robinson trying to get it in. He'll take it to the 2. It'll be 3rd and goal. Boy, there's some veterans up front. Mosbar, Montoya, Wisniewski. Trying to get him into the end zone. 3rd and goal, 2-yard line. This guy cleared some ways on the goal line, didn't he?
But the Seahawks over the years, Gary, at home, good short yardage, goal line team in particular because of the crowd noise. Raiders are taking score, get the crowd out of this thing early. We've gone to a 3-wide out passing set.
Trips to the top of the field. Horton is also split out. Give to Tyrone Montgomery. Montgomery's in trouble and he's getting ground. There's a flag as he has dropped back at the 12-yard line. Another flag coming late. Montgomery, who was on their development squad a year ago, trying to go wide and thrown for the loss. Red Cashin now will sort this one out for us.
I think it may have had a face mask there. That was good defense, though. Absolutely, yeah, there it is.
Well, that will go against Seattle. Let's look at it.
I'll tell you, they had the 3 wide receivers bunched up there at the top. They were going to try to run wide, but wide, but it was number 29, Dwayne Harper, playing corner, had different intentions in mind, forced everything inside, and absolutely nowhere for Montgomery to go.
Number 41 on the defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, but we must get back to the line of scrimmage. We'll repeat third down.
So we do it again. 3rd and goal from the 2. There's the All-Pro Eugene Robinson, who had 7 interceptions last year for the Seahawks. 4:58 to go. No score thus far in this first quarter. Tim Brown coming in late. He's going to call a timeout. They need a timeout. They had an alignment problem, and Brown came racing off the near sideline and got the attention of Red Cashin. So the Raiders use their first timeout with 4:50 to go. Archell.
Gary, it's 3rd and goal on the 2 for the Raiders. Here's where they like to use Tim Brown and their tight end, Ethan Horton. Those are the guys you have to take away if you're on defense.
Brown in the slot. You can see on the near side. Don't further out to the near sideline. Stetler going to scramble. He got in. Touchdown. As you said last week, escapability is no such word. Well, that's pretty good escapability.
You know, I looked it up, by the way, in Webster's, and it's not in there, Gary, but he did have escapability. Al looks pretty happy about that. But I tell you, Jeff Hostetler kept the drive alive a couple of times by not forcing the ball one time, and getting rid of the ball another time, throwing the deep pass to Alexander Wright. So once again, Jeff Hostetler has made the right decision. Did a week ago against Minnesota, has thus far tonight.
Jeff Jaeger to attempt the point after. Out of the hold of Gossett, it's 7-0 Los Angeles. A big completion of 42 yards to Alexander Wright, and then Hostetler scoring from 2 yards out.
Jeff Hostetler sees a lot of the field through the 8 different receivers last week. But when he sees nobody open, he's not afraid to take it down and dive into the end zone to give your team a lead. Tim Brown in here, but as Jeff Hostetler comes back, he sees him doubled. It opens up a clear running lane for him. Puts his head down and scores from 2 yards out. And as we said, he's made all the right decisions. He's thrown the ball long, he's thrown it short, he's thrown it away.
And that's the first touchdown that Seattle has given up this season, as they kept San Diego out of the end zone last week. And John Vaughn, who they just recently acquired from New England, can't bring that one out. We have a Raider down at the 20-yard line, and that's Elvis Patterson, who's their outstanding special teams player. He was an alternate at the Pro Bowl the last 2 years in that category. So at the 20-yard line now, Seattle trailing 7-0. They'll come out with the ball. Last week
is still one of them.
7 times to the Pro Bowl. The only guy that's gone to more Pro Bowls on the Raider history is Art Shell. He was there 8 times as an offensive tackle. From the 20, first down. Rick Meyer off to Chris Warren, and Warren will bring it out to the 25-yard line. This guy, after gaining only 24 yards, 5 from the 25. Ryan Blades comes in motion. Give to Warren again, and Warren bursts out of the pile. Gets close to the 30-yard line where he needs to be for the first down. They're going to mark it right on top of it. Warren is one of those strong guys that the Raiders were telling us, if you stick an arm out, you're going to be in the training room the next day.
Yeah, getting some treatment. But this is 2 runs and a first down for Rick Meyer's Seattle Seahawks. I mean, that's exactly what they needed after the Raiders go and score 7 points. If he's going to win, he needs to get some production out of his running game. Can't be in those 3rd and 7s and 3rd and 8s. That's the initial first down of the game now for Seattle. Beautiful protection over the middle. Out to the 40-yard line. Close to another first down. The completion to Kelvin Martin. An 11-yard gain and another first down for Seattle. Kelvin Martin is more like a running back after he catches the ball than a wide receiver. When you play against the Raiders, your first thing you have to do as a wide receiver is get away from the jam. He did that from Lionel Washington. And then as soon as he caught it, he turned into a running back and made some plays, made some yards. Myers hit all 3 of his passes now for 20 yards. Chris Warren reading it well. Takes it across the 45. You forget this guy weighs 225 pounds and can run that well. And everybody talks about how deceptive his speed is. Well, he was off the mark quickly to get over 1,000 yards.
Warren again can't break the tackle of Eddie Anderson. Very good open field tackle by Eddie Anderson. He says, I want to play this safety spot like Jack Tatum used to play it. He also wanted to say hello to Greg Lloyd, the linebacker of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They were teammates at Fort Valley State. And he says, you tell Greg I'm going to put a big hit on tonight.
Well, I'll tell you what, when Eddie Anderson hits you, you generally go down. I mean, this guy is a free safety, but he could clearly play linebacker. As a matter of fact, in short yardage and goal line, he plays linebacker for the Raiders.
Third down and a long yard. Meyer scrambling out of there. He's got the first down, and this time he slides feet first. Something that's been drilled into his head because last week he kept going head first and taking some real shot. Last Sunday from the 45, first down. Play action. Meyer tried to hit Farrell Edmonds, his 6'6" tight end, but is even too tall for Edmonds at the 35-yard line.
You know, for a rookie quarterback starting, I think they can really come after him.
3 wideouts. Meyer to Warren. Warren adjusts his run and as an end result gets a first down. Powerful running straight ahead by Chris Warren out of Farron College. An enrollment of all of 1,500. First down at the 35. Warren again. A workhorse right now as he takes it to the 32-yard line. Joe Kelly over to make the stop, and we have come to the end of this first quarter of play. So the Raiders with a 7-0 lead as we go to quarter number 2. Los Angeles trying to win their 7th in a row over the Seahawks.
So fast, if they can get that ball to the tight end after a play action fake, they have a play. I was just saying, Derek Hoskins, the strong safety for the Raiders on first down runs, he is up in the line of scrimmage so fast. I mean, if you could get a play action fake and hit that tight end down the seam, you got a big play because Hoskins has got his nose up there in the line of scrimmage.
It does look like it, doesn't it, Townsend? What was he, a man from Mars or something? Okay. That was a fast quarter, wasn't it? Or was it
sure
just me?
was. Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, they could here. Who knows?
Thulin has highlights from that Phoenix game, the big upset today. Stay with us for halftime.
Boy, you're right, Bob. That's the biggest win in Joe Bugel's career. Play action. Meyer dumps it off complete to John L. Williams. Williams to the 20, 15. He's to the 10, a flag as he's knocked out of bounds at the 8-yard line.
That was a heck of a throw by Rick Meyer because he had some immediate pressure from Aaron Wallace, and I think it was Anthony Smith. But John L. Williams.
So that 25-yard catch and run by John L. Williams is going to come back. Williams last year caught 74 passes. The only guy that caught more was Ronnie Harmon of San Diego with 79.
He's not an afterthought in the passing game, Gary. You know, most fullbacks are.
There is no infraction on the play. The block was from the side. The ball.
Wow, they waved it off.
First down.
You know what? Good for Rick.
Derek Hoskins with Farrell Edmonds running right up his back, but Seattle obviously will take it, and they're relieved to have it now. First and goal at the 8-yard line. Art Shell, who has such a presence about him. He came into our room last night. Such a pleasant guy to visit with. And the football team he's put together this year figures to get them back into the playoffs where they are familiar with that kind of territory. So good on this drive. He gets to the 6. It'll be second and goal there. So Seattle gave up the reception return.
And here's where you'd love to use your 6'6" tight end. Big target with some big bodies.
Ryan Blades in motion. Warren to the 5, fighting for the goal line. He's in. Touchdown, Seattle. $14 minutes to go in the second quarter. Casey has tied this game up.
So we said Farrell Edmonds would be a factor in the play. I thought they might throw it to him. Watch Farrell Edmonds block down here. A guard, Hitchcock's going to pull around, and you have a chance to make a play. Edmonds through the key block. He blocked down inside.
6 except for Roger Craig. Napoleon McCallum not going to bring it out.
And, you know, the other thing about John L. Williams is Chris Warren wouldn't have had that 1,000-yard season a year ago if it wasn't for the lead blocks of John L. Williams. So this is a versatile fullback, one of the most versatile fullbacks in the NFL. And now back up to Jeff Hostetler to kind of respond. I mean, both these quarterbacks have had similar games, Gary, thus far. They haven't made mistakes. They've run the ball. They've scrambled. They've come up with some big plays. Hostetler to Wright and Meyer to John L. Williams.
And both showing very good mobility.
Yeah.
From the 20, first down. Trying to change the play, and it's noisy. Hostetler completes Ethan Horton, and Terry Wooden is there instantly at the 20-yard line. Ethan Horton last week had 6 catches for 76 yards. Good defense that time by Seattle. There's that last drive. Warren capping it on a 6-yard run.
I think you talk a little to Rick Myers, we did this week. He acts like, you know, he's been around here for 10 years. I mean, this is a confident guy, and maybe when you come out of Notre Dame, a program like Notre Dame, you really aren't a rookie. You know, he's been in all the big games, the big pressure situations, but he's played well thus far this year.
2nd and 10. Hostetler with time. Tim Brown, the intended receiver, and Raphael checked that. Patrick Hunter defending on the play. Hunter coming back so well to the ball that time. Beautifully timed, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
Now, Cortez Kennedy generates a lot of power in those first couple of steps, but you're going to have 2 blockers taking it. Now, if 2 guys are blocking Cortez Kennedy, somebody else in that Seahawk defensive line has to do something. Tua Tagovailoa, Nash, or Jeff Bryant have to come free if they're going to double Cortez Kennedy.
A lot of people feel he's as fine a player that's ever played this game. 3rd down. He's coming up the middle. He flushes Hostetler out. He gets rid of it. Now there's the new rule. If you get out of the pocket, now a late flag in the end zone. But the rule is if you get outside the tight end and get rid of the ball at the line of scrimmage or past it, it's not intentional grounding. So let's see what the flag is all about.
There is no infraction because the quarterback was out of the pocket.
Good for
4th down.
But I tell you, when you're Cortez Kennedy, you know you're going to be faced with 2 and 3 blockers virtually every play. Number 96 right there in the middle of the screen. Now he gets by Mosbar, and then the tight end, Ethan Horton, picks him up. So you don't just chip him with a back. You have a big old center trying to block him, and then you got your big old tight end trying to block him as well.
You got to account for him, don't you?
Every play.
Gossett to punt the ball away. High spiraling kick. Kelvin Martin calls for the fair catch at the 34-yard line. We have another penalty flag back at the 20-yard line. 46-yard punt that time by Gossett. An eligible man downfield against Los Angeles. So they're going to bring it back and try it again. They want to try to get a return out of this. That's Mike Jones.
So yeah, a lot of guys are having a good game, and so is Red Cashin. I mean, he is.
Picked up 2 flags.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a lot of courage sometimes to do that. If you look up here, as Lonnie Dale, our director, shows you, back to do it again. This is not kicked as well. Martin will have a return. And he'll come to the 41 and knocked out there. So they really gained on that exchange. 39-yard punt, and Kelvin Martin, who they say is about as courageous as any punt returner, got a lot of good out of that one. Bugle winning an RFK for the first time since 1978. Best field position. Seattle started to drive, and John L. Williams builds on that as he takes it inside the 35 to the 33. Joe Kelly made the stop. One of the guys that's inactive for this game is Mitch Farrat. He came over from the Buffalo Bills.
Looks like the kind of guy who takes those wooden hangers out of his hotel rooms. like you do. Last week I caught you with a couple of those wood hangers, didn't I?
Oh, I hope he doesn't hear that. You're dead. Second down, less than a yard. Here comes Chris Warren. He's got the first down. They try to strip the ball, but he hangs on and has the first down at the 29-yard line. Chris Warren has been so effective, and then the receiving of Williams. That's been a real good 1-2 punch. To Warren, and Warren is able to negotiate the 26-yard line and is knocked down there. Winston Moss on the tackle for Los Angeles.
You know, Howie Long's getting kind of worked on too with a couple of players as well. I mean, again, he is still a guy that requires some attention. Not into stats, not necessarily into sacks, but you have to hold him, you have to scratch him, you have to block him with two guys. Otherwise, he's going to disrupt plays. He's always been a disruptor, and he's still doing it in his 13th year.
Second down and 8. Meyer, look out, backside. And coming through is Anthony Smith. That's his 3rd sack of the year. He had 13 a year ago. He is becoming one of the premier pass rushers in the NFL.
Gary, I think of all the guys in the Raiders, Anthony Smith, number 94 right there, perhaps is their most productive because he really just plays on passing downs for the most part, a nickel player. 2 sacks a week ago. But when he's in, I tell you, things happen. I mean, there's always pressure on the quarterback when Anthony Smith is in the ball game. Now, this is one of those terrible situations for Rick Meyer. Don't take a sack, don't create a turnover, because he can have a big pass rush on you.
Loss of 6, 3rd and 14. Meyer buying some time. He's in trouble. Takes off. Nice move to the 30. 25 dives. He appears to be just short of the first down. Again, Meyer showing his ability to run with the football.
You know, Gary, he was scrambling around, but he had Kelvin Martin, I mean, wide open in the end zone. I mean, he was open. He was running to his left. He couldn't see him, but see number 84 right there? I mean, that's a touch.
Boy, it's so tough, isn't it, though, Pat, when you're running around back there to find that guy?
Absolutely.
Casey will come in and attempt a field goal. This will be a 40-yard attempt. He was 1 of 2 last week. He hit a 27-yarder, but missed one from 48. 40-yard attempt by the left footer, and Casey has given Seattle the lead. 10-7, Seattle trying to win their first game of the
day here in Seattle. We're playing indoors. And you'll have that the whole season.
10-7, Seattle as Casey kicks off. McCallum, nope, it's going to be instead Alexander Wright. And Wright skips out of there. Out to the 30, still on his feet. Very good return to the 29. Well, the Seahawks love to play here. No one wants to come in here. And Rick Meyer talked about playing to his dad and mother coming up here from Goshen, Indiana. First time they visited the Seattle area. They were in San Diego for the game last week. And we have a man shaking up James Jefferson, number 20, one of their special teams guys. We're going to show you what he was talking about if you're confused right now. From the 35-yard line, Hostetler to start this drive. Jim Brown, nice spin move to the 50. Look at this open field running. Jim Brown has a first down to the 46. 18-yard gain on the play. Now let's look at what you were talking about.
Pretend you're John Casey. First you got the bad face mask to begin with because you're a kicker. But then you don't use your shoulder. You just give him the old leg whip. Because that's what you're good at, using the old feet and legs.
He may have a black belt in karate.
For
who knows?
We know, yeah.
I mean, that was a nice leg kick move there.
You notice the kickers really, without a doubt, have the worst face masks in the National Football League. They look horrible.
From the 47-yard line after an 18-yard gain. Robinson showing that leg drive that they were talking about. Very close to the first down, inside the 40 to the 38-yard line.
You know, I thought Greg Robinson said something interesting about his running style. As we spoke with him last night, he said, hey, I try to have 3 different options. The first one, of course, is where the hole is supposed to be, where it's supposed to be blocked. But if it's not there, I have a feel for 2 or 3 other options, whether I'm going to bounce it out outside or cut back. That time he found the hole and picked up 9 yards.
2nd and a yard to go. Three seconds on the play clock. Robinson trying to get the first down. Terry Wooden, the linebacker, over trying to deny him that. Robinson picked up at the 8th round. He was overshadowed by Roosevelt Potts, who was a 2nd round draft pick of the Indianapolis Colts.
You know, any running back has to see and feel the hole as much as anything else. We've just said, yeah, he has 3 different options in his own mind as his play is called. He just gave Wisniewski a little bit of time to chip his blocker and then cut in behind him. That was it wasn't a big run, a long run, but a good feel run by Greg Robinson there.
And a run for a first down by measurement.
You know, the Raiders have this image, Gary, of throwing the ball deep and all this speed on the outside. But when they were really good, they were primarily a running team. In that 2nd and 2, 3rd and 1. And if you get in those situations, then you can use the track guys on the outside.
Last year they were led in rushing by Eric Dickerson with 729 yards. First down. Ethan Horton comes in motion. The crowd now getting up for this. Hostetler intended for Ethan Horton. Robert Blackman, the safety, covering the tight end in the 10-yard line area. Boy, it really got noisy on that snap. 2nd down, 10.
You're right. As soon as you cross the 50-yard line, this crowd here begins to get into it. So the thing about Jeff Hostetler, you have to hit him every play. But even though you do, he'll come back and he'll play, unless he's getting injured, he can come back and beat you in the 4th quarter. He's done that in his career with the Giants. 19-9 as a starter.
2nd and 10. He's 6 of 12 now for 89 yards. Blitz coming. They pick it up. He gets Ethan Horton this time, and Horton is going to be stopped for a short gain at the 33-yard line. Boy, they picked up the blitz beautifully that time.
Yeah, they sure did. But Eugene Robinson, the free safety for the Seahawks, did a magnificent job of covering the tight end after the blitz. Strong safety blitzes. The free safety picks up the tight end. And then he made the tackle in the open field. I mean, it's good protection there. Porter is the blitzer on the outside. And number 41, Eugene Robinson, a great tackler. Now here, Gary, is where the Raiders are really afraid of Rufus Porter as a pass rusher. Number 97 for the Seahawks.
They say he's been a terror for them. 3rd and 7. Hostetler backside. Porter was coming after him. He gets rid of it. Instead, Tim Brown makes the catch. There's a flag. It'll be enough for the first down if this stays at the 25-yard line. Hostetler had backside pressure from Porter, the man you were talking about, but he sensed it, got rid of it. It's going to be holding, and it's going to be against Seattle, so that'll be a first down for the Raiders.
I'll tell you,
Holding number 29 on the defense. That penalty is declined. First down.
Gary, you talk about a track team. Look who the Raiders had lined up on the right side. Now this is a little bit of the Washington Redskins scheme, the bunching of 3 receivers. Ordinarily, they spread guys out from sideline to sideline. That time they bunch, and Tim Brown, who's an interesting receiver in that he can be a possession receiver, but he also can blow right by him.
And he blew by him there for the first down. He has 3 catches for 33 yards. Hostetler giving off to Robinson. Robinson inside the 20 to 19. You know, the line didn't come off uniformly that time. That's where the crowd noise starts to affect you. It's kind of a herky-jerky move, as Wisniewski was one of those guys up front. You talk about this guy is such a determined player. 3 times in the Pro Bowl, and he comes off the ball so low. Cortez Kennedy said he just gets down, right down on your thigh pads.
Yeah, Cortez Kennedy was saying about Wisniewski that, he's always played me well because he's never, completely tied up with me. He's always doing his own assignments, not worried about me too much.
Well, Blackman now has gone down. He was up for a while. He is down. So right now, Blackman will be assisted off the field.
25 right there in the middle of your screen.
So goes. We come back in. Raphael Robinson has replaced Blackman at safety. This is Greg Robinson. Oh, what a tackle that time by Rod Stevens, the middle linebacker. Here's a guy that was out of football in '91, working for Easter, down and still 5 yards to go. Hostetler, the blitz coming, had to get rid of it. Hostetler was drilled that time. There is a flag on the play. Pressure from Bob Stopolsky coming up the middle to Hostetler, who hurried the play up and he had to throw it away. Holding against Los Angeles.
Yeah, that might have been on Rufus Porter, the guy they're concerned about. They might have held him, and I think it was Gerald Perry.
Stopolsky was the guy, though, that cleared over the middle. He's their nickel linebacker who has really come on this year in his second year out of Central Florida.
Holding, number 71 on the offense. That penalty is declined. It's 4th down.
And here's Rufus Porter way outside here. Here is 71 Gerald Perry. He just kind of hooked him up right there, but Rufus Porter on 3rd downs has really killed the Raiders up here. Stopolsky's 58. They called the hold on Perry.
Jager's going to try to tie this up. He was 1 of 2 last week. This will be a 36-yard attempt. Snap by Dan Turk. The kick by Jager is on the way, and we're tied again. We're even at 10 with 4:47 to go. These two AFC West rivals lock and horn. Well, we're tied at 10. Jager will send him to the goal line. John Vaughn, who led the NFL in kickoff returns, won't get a crack at it here. They'll bring it out to the 20.
Okay, this game is, we've had a pretty good game of what we expected. Good pass rushers. Sure. I mean, and it goes so well with purple, Bob.
You better run after the game. Here's a handoff to Warren, and Chris Warren out for 2 yards to the 22-yard line.
You know, one of the things in this game. AFC West
old rivals.
We said at the very beginning of the show, if Seattle had a chance to win this thing, they had to stay at a 3rd and long. Well, thus far in the first half, 4:18 remaining, they've been running the ball for almost 5 yards a carry, and that's why this game is tied at 10.
We mentioned Bob Golick. There he is.
Yeah, that man could stop the run.
Yes, he could. Starting defensive tackle last year for the Raiders. 2nd down and 8. Meyer going deep. The ball up and incomplete. Intended receiver was Brian Blades. Lionel Washington was defending very well, and that ball was being tipped around at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, a little bit underthrown, because I think otherwise Blades has a chance to really run under it. But the nice thing about it was the first deep pass of the night for the Seahawks. At the very beginning, they said stay at a 3rd and long, get some production, 20, 30, 40-yard pass plays. That was going to be the key for the Seahawks tonight. They've gotten production out of the running game to stay out of the 3rd and longs, but they really haven't been able to get the ball downfield to the wide receivers.
3rd down and 7. Seattle 1 of 3 on 3rd downs thus far. Being chased by Howie Long. He gets away from Howie, but help arrives, and he's dropped inside the 20 by Nolan Harrison. No, check that. Anthony Smith. That'll be his 2nd sack.
Yeah, but Howie Long really should get credit for it. Anthony Smith, this guy is a terrific pass rusher, an up the field kind of guy that once he gets on the edge of you can make a play. Now, that really belonged to Howie Long, but it was a hustling Anthony Smith who never quit, never gave up, and gets his 2nd sack.
So it's a 4th down, and Tuke will punt from the 5-yard line. Tim Brown is back deep for the Raiders. Hits it very high. Brown calling for the fair catch, takes it at the 40-yard line. The Raiders will have it after that 40-yard punt. 3:17 to go in the first half. The Raiders have 2 timeouts remaining in this 10-all game. On legs, and he really gets the jump on the snap count.
Yeah, you're right. It's the only active Raider. A couple more years, he'll be old enough to play on that, Taiwanese Little League team. Those guys all average about 39, 40 years old, don't they?
I don't know if he can hit the curveball, though. From the 40-yard line, here we go. Where do you get these lines? Robinson and Smith in the backfield. Hostetler over the middle. And Alexander Wright almost has his head taken off. Excellent tackle by Patrick Hunter. Oh, man, did he come across and nail him there.
But, Alexander Wright got up, and now he kind of wobbles off. Yeah, he's not feeling too good. But he's one of the keys to this Raider team on offense. Art Shell said last night, if we're going to be a more effective and better team this year, we had to give Alexander Wright a chance. Well, tonight he's caught a long one. Then he gets the short one, takes a hit.
Is he ever? Wright has 4 catches, 73 yards. Gain of 7, 2nd and 3. Ethan Horton goes in motion. Pressure coming from Michael Sinclair, and Sinclair doubles back and gets it. Here's a young and up-and-coming, very fine player, Michael Sinclair, second-year man out of eastern New Mexico, who's gotten bigger and stronger, and they think he has a brilliant future ahead of him. It'll bring up now, still 3 yards to go, and a 3rd down.
Well, 3rd down is been a down. 3rd and 3 to 5 has always been an area where the Raiders the last few years have gone to Tim Brown.
And we have gone to the 2-minute warning. When we come back, it's 3rd and 3. It's even at 10 from the Kingdome in Seattle. Sinclair, last week Hostetler was only sacked 1 time, but he took 13 hits in the game. He's taking some punishment tonight.
This was a second effort sack by number 70 Sinclair. I mean, Hostetler dodges him the first time, but not the second time. And Gary, a lot of sacks really are second effort type of plays. It's not very rare you come through clean or you beat a guy cleanly, but if you keep hustling and you have good coverage, you'll create some sacks.
3rd and 3 now. Jimmy Brown in motion. Hostetler rolls that way, trying to hit Tyrone Montgomery. He threw the interception instead. Carlton Gray picked it up. His 2nd interception of the year. And Gray may have been the most surprised guy in the ballpark. Let's see where they're going to mark the ball. He was getting ready to make the tackle, and all of a sudden he had the football.
Hostetler thought it was going to be man-for-man defense on that play on the 3rd and 3, but he got a zone. Watch here, right here. He's expecting for him to run off, and the back's going to run right in here. But what happens is Carlton Gray is playing a zone. He lets the receiver go, stays in the area, and makes the interception. So they expect man. They come back with zone. Good defensive call there by Rusty Tillman, the defensive coordinator of the Seahawks.
The rookie with his 2nd interception in as many games. Sets it up 49-yard line of Seattle. Minute 52 left in the half. Screen complete to John L. Williams, but Greg Townsend's over there. Also reacting well is Winston Moss, number 99. They're going to lose a couple of yards on that one. Timeout will be called. Seattle now will have 2 remaining. That'll stop the clock with 1:39.
Commitment to Rick Meyer, and hopefully he can be the guy here for 10 years. And they've got a good defense behind him.
He's 6 of 8 now for 51 yards. 2nd down and 13. Meyer, backside pressure, senses it, takes off to the 50. Meyer to the 47. The ball comes loose. The Raiders say they've got it.
They called him down.
And they come out of there, and it will be the Raiders football.
I thought the side judge called him down.
The backside, Aaron Wallace was coming after Meyer. He sensed that. He took off, and let's see what happened as he got across the midfield stripe and the ball came loose.
Well, it's been a defensive game, and now the 2nd turnover of the game. And that's what this was. It was Aaron Wallace on the backside, who's got great acceleration that forces him up inside. McDaniel, number 36, forces the fumble.
He was awfully close to being down here. Watch this again. No, it's out.
Yeah, I think that, but I thought I saw the side judge over there call him down, but it was clearly a fumble.
Yep. The ball was out before the knee came down.
So an excellent opportunity now for the Raiders. From their own 47, a minute 31 left, 2 timeouts left. Hostetler making the connection. Tim Brown coming up with a grab. You can see the time remaining. They'll make the forward progress to the 42, make it the 43-yard line. A couple of yards short of the first down.
Well, again, Jeff Hostetler's not a guy that's going to take a lot of chances. You know, he has a kicker. He has a career long of 53 yards. You know, all he needs is another 5-6 yards or so to give himself a reasonable shot at a field goal. Can't take a sack, can't turn the ball over here.
Jaeger hoping to get a crack at the lead here as we go into the last minute and a half of the first half. Second and a yard. Steve Smith trying to get wide. He's got the first down. He goes out of bounds inside the 35. Eugene Robinson, the free safety, over to knock him out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 1:20.
Well, that was a well-blocked play on the left side for the Raiders. Gerald Perry, the left tackle, was Wisniewski. Now watch as they come out to the left side. It's tough to run wide against the Seahawks because they are an awfully quick team. The lead block there is Robinson, who makes a play. And then Steve Smith just kind of bounces it outside the first.
For a 10-yard gain on the first down. Greg Robinson now comes split to the near side. Hostetler double pumping, going for all of them in the corner to Tim Brown. Touchdown, Raiders.
Not too often you get a smile out of Art Shell during the course of a game, but that one did. I mean, when we said the thing about Tim Brown, I think which makes him a bit unique, is that he can be a possession receiver and then he can blow by you. We saw him catch some short passes earlier in the game, and that set up this one as he ran a hook and go.
Second touchdown catch of the year. That's a 37-yard strike. Beautifully thrown. Jaeger now to attempt the point after a minute 13 left in the half. So after the fumble recovery, they waste a little time as Jaeger now makes it a 17-10 game.
This was a beautiful setup for Tim Brown. Early in the game, he runs down, he runs a couple hooks, runs a couple outs. This time he runs down and then goes right by the defender, and a perfectly thrown ball there by Hostetler. When you talk about setting a guy up, that's what Tim Brown did there on Harper. And that's a strong catch. Those strong hands. Again, Jeff Hostetler, if he keeps it up, and there's a smile by Art Shell. Again, you don't see a lot of smiles during the course of the game from Art, but if Jeff Hostetler can keep this up, this efficient quarterback play, these Raiders have a chance of having a big season, Gary. I think, because their defense is awfully good, their special teams is awfully good. The last few years they've had erratic quarterback play. With Hostetler, they've got a good fit.
17-10 now in favor of Art Shell's group. You're talking about last year, Jay Schrader was their starting quarterback. He threw for 1,400 yards, but that just isn't going to get it done. They made so many mistakes.
23 interceptions. Yep. They were minus 19 in the turnover ratio, last in the National Football League.
Jim Plunkett took him to the Super Bowl in '83. He retired in '86, and they went through 7 quarterbacks after that. Jaeger gets into this one. There'll be no return on this as Bond just goes back to the back of the end zone. So after the interception by Gray, the Seahawks couldn't do anything, but the fumble recovery of Myers miscue, and they took only 3 plays and 52 yards, and Brown on the touchdown.
4 times in the first half, they've completed 2 of them.
Seattle with 2 turnovers and find themselves down by 7. Chris Warren. And Warren will get a couple, maybe 3 to the 23. The ball comes out, but he's down. We approach a minute to go in this first half of play. Again, the Fruit of the Loom halftime report coming up. What we're looking forward to next week, the Cardinals and the Cowboys. If you would have asked somebody who you thought would be 0-2 going into that game, you wouldn't have thought Dallas. And how about Joe Bugel's win in RFK? He'd been outscored 106-3 in the previous trips in there.
Well, that clearly was the biggest win for Joe Bugel.
Second down and 6. Myers in trouble. Howie Long coming after it, and he gets out of there. And he's going to go down. He had white shirts everywhere. There just was no place to go.
Well, you talk about a jailbreak. When you get down, you have to get down a little quicker than that, because I know he felt Howie Long behind him, and Howie was definitely thinking about giving Rick Meyer a little shot there. And Howie, we talked about Long not necessarily being concerned about stats and statistics, just being a disruptor. But when he gets a shot at a quarterback, he'll give it to you.
Well, after that, they're not even going to try to take another snap. They're going to let this clock expire. That scared everybody, including, I'm sure, Tom Flores, to see his rookie quarterback being chased like that. So we have played a half here at the Kingdome in Seattle. And the Raiders with a 17-10 lead on the strength of a Hostetler to Tim Brown completion in the corner of the end zone. Two AFC West rivals in a division that's so improved.
The Seahawks.
Interesting thing about Rick Meyer, 5 of those 6 completions have gone to his backs.
Yeah, and other than the 25-yarder to John L. Williams, the longest pass completion is only 11 yards.
Ready to go now. Jager will be kicking off. John Vaughn and Michael Bates, who won the bronze medal in the 200 meters in Barcelona, back for Seattle. And the speedster Bates will get a crack at it. Out to the 20, and some of that speed being displayed as he brings it out to the 26-yard line. So Rick Meyer will set it up there. His team trailing 17-10.
Good Raider defense.
Last week, the Vikings had only 58 the entire game against LA. Meyer on first down to throw, and he makes the connection. Ryan Blades coming up with a catch at the 35, just across the 35-yard line. Terry McDaniel over there to make the stop. So they pick up some good yardage on their first opportunity here. Here's McDaniel, had an interception return for a touchdown last week.
Terry McDaniel has had a terrific year thus far. Had a big year a year ago, and what he is so good at is jamming the receiver at the line of scrimmage. I mean, he is a physical corner. He only weighs 180, but it's tough to get rid of him.
Second and less than a yard to go. Blades in motion. Give to Warren, and Warren had to fight for that first down. It wasn't easy. Jammed up inside. He is. He played the last 3 years with the Jets, 4 years with the Bengals, and played in Super Bowl 23.
I always love it when guys say they play bigger than they are.
Did they ever say that about you?
No, I wish they had. How big does he play? Pretty big. That was
huge,
a good stop by Judge. Very large.
Huge.
Very large.
First down now at the 37. Williams.
Whoops.
Warren in the backfield, and Nolan Harrison off the mark.
The thing about Joe Kelly, too, was he was saying to us last night that last week against Minnesota, we played well together. Not just individually, but we played well together.
5 yards, still first down.
They think he's got that old Raider tough in him.
Yeah.
Now, what does that mean? Anyway, they will take the penalty. They'll move it out 5 yards out to the 43-yard line. First and 5 now for Seattle. 17-10. The Raiders are the lead. We've just started the second half of play. Meyer play action. Farrell Edmonds hangs on. The tight end makes the catch inside the 45. First down. That's the big target that Pat was talking about. A 15-yard completion to the guy who 2 times went to the Pro Bowl for the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, a rookie quarterback should love his tight end.
Now they're bringing it back.
Well, second down.
Oh, I thought he had that one. Instead, it will come back incomplete. Let's look at it.
Farrell Edmonds, number 82, lined up on the right. Doesn't really get jammed off the line of scrimmage. No, it was a trap.
Nope.
Hey, this officiating crew is doing a heck of a job
Yes,
today.
they have.
Yeah.
That hit was what made the difference.
There's old Red.
So it's second and 5. Chris Warren on a second and 5, and Nolan Harrison's there first. Nolan Harrison out of Indiana didn't play his senior year because of disciplinary problems, so he's still learning to play the game, but as they were saying, he is such a power guy, such an effort player up front. Third down coming up.
Well, Gary, when you think of the Raiders defense, when you think of the NFL, you need playmakers. I mean, there's some methodical guys that play roles, but you need playmakers really to make a lot of plays, and the Raiders have a bunch of them. I mean, Townsend and Long and Anthony Smith and Aaron Wallace. Eddie Anderson, and last week all those guys made big plays. That time it was Nolan Harrison.
3rd and 4 now for Seattle. Over the middle, and the ball intended for John L. Williams, but he couldn't clear because Aaron Wallace was on top of it. No chance there. 4th down coming up.
And you know why Aaron Wallace was over him? Was because all last week in that San Diego game, all the Seahawks did on those 3rd down was just kind of dink those little 3 and 5 yard type of passes. Aaron Wallace was just waiting for John L. Williams to come out of the backfield.
He's their best cover linebacker, and he covered well there. To punt the football. Tim Brown back at the 15.
And the Raiders feel they have a shot at blocking a punt.
Put some pressure on that time. Derek Hoskins was close. Fair catch by Tim Brown at the 25-yard line. 33-yard punt. The Raiders have the football. They also have the lead, 17-10. And we have a football game now to 12-18 mark the 3rd quarter. The Raiders with the ball in a 7-point lead. Horton comes in motion.
There he goes.
And the completion to the far side of the field. Coming up with it is Willie Gault, his first catch of the night. The veteran brings it out to the 32.
Yeah, let's go back to that John L. Williams play on 3rd and 3 because it was a critical play. I think Aaron Wallace, number 51, is just locked up on him right here. Now, again, it was a well-scouted team, good defensive call by Gunther Cunningham, the defensive coordinator. But the ball was thrown a little bit behind him. But Aaron Wallace can rush the passer in nickel, but then he can cover a fullback out of the backfield one-on-one.
Gault's catch is good for 6 yards. 2nd and 4. Tim Brown goes in motion. Hostetler trick coming out from underneath center and has to eat the football. He tried to hand off in desperation to Robinson, but he tripped coming out from under Mosbar, and down he goes, and the loss will be back to the 27-yard line.
Usually when that happens, an offensive lineman steps on the foot of the quarterback. And again, usually the quarterback's foot is stepped on. It happened there. I think it was Wisniewski who actually stepped on his foot. Take it, take it. I got it.
So now it's 3rd and 8. The loss back to the 27.
And here's where the Seattle defense has to make a play.
Hostetler going up top, and they have a miscommunication there. Darrell Hobbs, the intended receiver, made his break over the middle at the 45, and the ball was down at the other 45, and so they'll have to punt the football on 4th down. Miscommunications there. I think that's the first time Hobbs has been in the ball game, number 80.
Yeah, you see Hostetler again. Here's Hobbs here. He's coming here. Hostetler thinks he's going right down on the go route and throws it to the outside. I mean, that's the 2nd time on a deep ball. The first play of the game is miscommunication between him and Tim Brown. That time between him and Hobbs.
Well, Seattle got their stop. Here's a punt by Gossett. Kelvin Martin to return it. They're in good field position as they'll start from their own 34. 45-yard return, or I should say 6-yard return, a 45-yard punt. Martin was 2nd in the NFL in punt returns a year ago.
He's got him on both wrists there.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I hope not part of our crew here.
That hurts. Boy.
Oh, you've experienced it before?
Dancing.
First down now at the 34-yard line. Warren trying to go wide, and Howie Long slows him down, but he stays on his feet and fights through another tackle and gets close to the 40-yard line. That shows you how strong Chris Warren is. He's really impressed us here tonight.
And what you can't do with Chris Warren is arm tackle him or try to tackle him by yourself, because he's going to keep the legs moving. It's not like Cortez Kennedy keeps his feet moving on defense. Chris Warren does the same thing as a tailback. I mean, he's 225 pounds, he's 6'2", and he's going to run through some people. And he's got some speed to blow by you. It's a heck of a run.
Almost 6 yards on the play. 2nd down coming up, flag on the play. Warren running around. He hasn't quit. Some of the players did. The ball is fumbled. It's picked up by Eddie Anderson. Anderson is going to be knocked out of bounds by Brian Blades.
It's offsides by Howie Long, though.
You know what was interesting? Half the team quit.
Yep.
Half of them stopped. And then Chris Warren kept going. And the ball comes loose. And Red Cashin now finding out who does have this football after it's all over.
Gave Howie Long the hard count. The hard count for Howie Long. They said Andy Heck, the right tackle for the Seahawks said one thing about Howie Long is you got to give him the hard count every once in a while. Get him off sides. Change the cadence. It wasn't Howie Long. I take it back, Howie. It was Broughton, number 97.
Offside.
Had a chance for a real big run, though.
5 yards on the defense.
That was on Broughton, not
First
Long.
down.
So the Seattle Seahawks escape some real problems there. That'll bring it out to the 45. They have a first down rather than losing the ball.
Well, you know, the Seattle's defense did their job on the last series. Now it's up to Rick Meyer and the Seattle offense. They trail by 7 points here to do their job, make it happen. Get the ball to the wide receiver.
10:06 to go now, third quarter. 7-point lead by the Raiders. Chris Warren trying to get away from Nolan Harrison, does, and able to get maybe a yard or two with just some very resourceful effort on his part. Winston Moss eventually caught up with him.
You know, you're right. I mean, that was a heck of a 2-yard arms. It makes a nice 2-yard run.
He has 60 yards on 15 carries. Meyer back, going up deep. Brian Blades is down there, overthrown. Coverage by Terry McDaniel, and very good coverage, I might add. So Brian Blades, who Rick Meyer said is a beggar. He wants the ball on every play. Got his crack at it there, but we have a penalty flag back at the 40-yard line.
Well, he's caught one ball, I believe, and had 2 deep balls thrown to him. But you know, there wasn't a free safety involved in that play.
Holding.
And if
Number 73 on the offense. 10 yards, still second down.
so Ray Roberts, but if
In a hurry. Second down now, 18 yards to go. Meyer taking off. Nolan Harrison. Boy, Nolan Harrison stays home well, doesn't he?
yeah, he does.
He really fills that middle very well, and Harrison drops Rick Meyer at the 38-yard line.
Yeah, you know, the Raiders have some great outside rushers, and when you do that, the quarterback has to step up in the pocket. And when he does that, if you have a tackle like Nolan Harrison and Willie Broughton, who's playing in there tonight, you have a chance of making some sacks.
Third down and 17 now. On third down, Seattle's converted 1 of 5. This is not what Seattle had in mind.
You can't beat the Raiders being in that kind of situation.
Trying to get a screen off. He did to Warren. Warren running with the ball, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down. But Rick Meyer, backpedaling desperately, somehow got rid of the ball with Nolan Harrison in his face. Got rid of it for a 14-yard gain. It's still going to be fourth down, but they got some yardage back.
Hey, Rick Meyer's done that twice. He can get rid of the ball very quickly. Then Ray Roberts, number 73, the left tackle, does a good job of just staying out of the way of this ball. Watch the left tackle, too, number 73. He thinks he's going to go to him. Up, get out of the way. But that was a resourceful play by Meyer. And again, Chris Warren breaks a lot of tackles. Has all evening.
Tootin to punt the football to Tim Brown. Boy, he gets good hang time, doesn't he? Brown having to call for the fair catch again and makes it at the 15-yard line. Tootin last year, they tried to get him to average 4.6 seconds in hang time. We'll be back with the Raiders leading it 7. That the Raiders, with that track offense that they have, those wide receivers, is one play away from breaking this one open. They can do it. They have that kind of ability. Alexander Wright goes in motion. Hostetler looks at him, throws to Brown. Brown dives forward and gets out to the 23-yard line.
That was great pass protection because Jeff Hostetler first looked to the right to Brown. He wasn't open, didn't like what he saw. Tried to go back to his left side, then comes back. And it started with Steve Wisniewski. Remember we said this is a great matchup, Wisniewski and Cortez. He shoves Cortez to the right to give him, then he picks up Nash coming inside. I mean, that's a heck of an exchange between Mosbar and Wisniewski.
Boy, those 3 guys inside the offensive line, they played a lot of snaps. Second down and 2. Greg Robinson's got the first down out to the 30-yard line. 7 minutes remaining in this third quarter of play.
Rod Stevens, number 94, the middle linebacker. I mean, he sees both guards pulling. If you follow the pulling guard, generally you're going to get led to the ball carrier. And it was after a nice gain, though. when there wasn't any defensive line penetration. So Wisniewski, Gerald Perry, Don Mosbar, Montoya, Lanier doing a pretty good job for the Raiders.
First down from the 30-yard line. Hostetler, somebody in his face, had to get rid of it. Ethan Horton closest to the football. Coverage that time for Blackman, but Terry Wooden, the left side linebacker, got in the face of Hostetler, squeezed the pocket, and he had to get rid of the ball.
Number 90 at the bottom of the screen. Say this is only week 2, but Jeff Hostetler has taken a lot of shots. 13 hits last week. He's taken a lot of hits this week. I mean, this is why you see, I think the teams in the NFL that have really capable backup quarterbacks are the ones that have the greatest chance, I think, of advancing in the playoffs. It was certainly true a year ago, and I think it's going to be true again this year, because a quarterback is going to take a lot of hits, just like Hostetler did there.
Second down, 10 from the 30. Robinson and Smith in the backfield. Hostetler completes it to Brown, and Brown is going to be dropped short of the 35 by Rod Stevens.
You know, Tim Brown, he's become their possession receiver, a lot like, you know, Fred Biletnikoff was, and Christensen was, Todd Christensen, a tight end. You know, good protection again, sees him coming across the middle, feeds the ball to him, and he just sucks it up.
And boy, is he glad to be playing all these downs, where in the past they would come in as a specialty guy. Look at him, 7 catches already, right with 4. 3rd and 6. Hostetler gets rid of it to Ethan Horton, and Horton makes the first down catch out to the 44. Now there again is Hostetler's poise. He pulled the ball down, double pumped it, and got a 10-yard gain on the play.
You know, when he pulls it down, though, Gary, the interesting thing about Hostetler is he's not looking to run all the time. I mean, he pulls it down, but he still has his eyes downfield. When some quarterbacks, as soon as they decide to pull it down, their eyes are on the ground. They're thinking scramble the whole time. But so Hostetler is always looking. And if you come open, you'll find him. Gets hit, takes another shot. Ooh. Again. That's
another one of those hits that Art Shell doesn't want. Michael Sinclair from the backside. On a first down. Hostetler to Brown. Brown open field, tackle the 49. He's just wearing him out now.
Yeah.
Just wearing him out, and they just can't stay with him. Terry Wooden made the tackle, but Tim Brown so nifty, he could stretch you both horizontally and vertically.
No, you're right, and he's done it both tonight. But it's the eyes of Jeff Hostetler, the feel of where people are and where they're going to be. And this is a guy who's focused. He's not going to make a lot of mistakes. He's won a Super Bowl championship, and I think he's the real thing for the Raiders. It's just what the Raiders need.
2nd and 5 now for Elway. Changing the play.
And the defense called the run on it.
And that snap came back kind of nonchalantly. Hostetler throwing it up the middle. That was not really uniform at all. This ball came back to Hostetler, and I don't think anybody realized for an instant there the ball had been snapped.
Well, you saw the strong safety come up, Robert Blackman. Thought it was going to be a blitz, which it turned out to be. Called an audible to Tim Brown to go deep. But I think the offensive linemen didn't hear it.
They didn't move, did they? There was just an instant there where it just didn't happen. 3rd down and 5 now. The Raiders 4 of 9 on 3rd downs.
Seahawks trail here by 7 points. It's getting to the point of the game where once again the Seahawk defense has to make a 3rd down play.
Hostetler to Brown, behind him, almost picked up. And that is Carlton Gray. He seems to be around the ball all the time. What a find this guy is in the 2nd round. An interception last week, 1 tonight, and 2 near picks in this other part of the action.
Tom Flores said he thought it was the best defensive back available. He was the whole draft. That ball was thrown behind. But the reason that ball was thrown behind, Hostetler felt number 41 Eugene Robinson in front of him and wasn't about to get the ball picked off. He throws it behind him.
New punt returner now for Seattle, Dave McClellan, who returned a punt 75 yards for a touchdown in the preseason against the Houston Oilers. Gossett trying to kick it to the near side. McClellan comes up. And McClellan out to the 26-yard line. Ball comes out of there, but they're indicating it was down by contact. 35-yard punt, 11-yard return.
Seattle made their stop. Now they need some offense. Drive now from their own 26-yard line. Doug Thomas has come in at a wide receiver spot. Tracy Johnson's in the backfield. Here's Tracy Johnson, former Clemson running back, bangs his way out to the 30-31. Let's go back to that last punt by Jeff Gossett.
You know, Gary, I said Jeff Gossett is the best angle punter in the National Football League. Now he is going to pin McCloughan right in the corner over here, right back in here. And then you see all the pursuit guys coming right here. McCloughan, the return guy, has absolutely nowhere to go. Jeff Gossett does a terrific job of doing that. He's done it for years for the Raiders. 2nd and 5 now from the Seattle 31. Warren comes back into the ball game with Tracy Johnson. Ryan Blades in motion. Meyer, that's almost and is intercepted. Coming up with us, Terry McDaniel, and that's his 2nd interception of the year. So Terry McDaniel doesn't have the best of hands, but he can cover you. I mean, but the last 2 weeks, he's come on and made some interceptions. A year ago, these Raiders didn't get many turnovers. The defensive backs didn't catch the ball particularly well. But this is a different Raider team and a different Terry McDaniel. Guessed on the out route perfectly, read it, drove on it, and then made a very nice catch. They were telling us he works with that ball machine to try to improve his hands. He made it to his first Pro Bowl last year, had 4 interceptions, and look how they're doing in the takeaway turnover department. That's a big key stat for the Raiders this season. First down after the interception. 2nd turnover for Seattle. Robinson and Cortez Kennedy's there first. A couple of yards on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down with 3:21 now left in the 3rd quarter. Raiders excellent field position and enjoying a 7-point lead. The Seattle defense all last year felt like it had to win the football game for them. They went 2-14. They're hoping that Rick Meyer, the number 2 pick in the entire draft, can take some of the pressure off guys like Cortez Kennedy. But right now it's up to Kennedy and his teammates to make something happen. 2nd and 9. Stetler, and that ball was caught, and a very good catch by Steve Smith coming out of the backfield. He took a real shot, and we have a penalty flag at the line of scrimmage. Steve Smith is one of the faceless cogs in the machinery of the Raiders. Offside against Seattle. If you're wondering a while ago that Dave McCloughan, while he was returning the punt, Kelvin Martin has a sprained ankle, and he is gone for the game. So they'd made that change in the punt return department.
Offside, right side of the defensive line, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
That'll move the ball inside the 40-yard line. You think about it, last year at the most points Seattle scored was 17. So you know the defense had to hang in like this all year long. And here is Rusty Tillman, the defensive coordinator. His team kept San Diego out of the end zone last week. 2nd and 3 after the penalty. Hostetler to Brown, and Brown with another catch. Coverage that time on the near side by Dwayne Harper, but Brown continues to be the go-to guy. Now again, you don't have to throw the ball deep if you have the threat of it, and clearly the Raiders have done it. Remember earlier in the first half when he caught the touchdown, he faked this route and then went by him. Now he's come back and run this little hook route a couple of times. Now maybe he fakes the hook and goes deep again. Well, look what Jeff Hostetler has to throw over. I mean, a lot of arms up, big old bodies in his face. I mean, that's a heck of a throw. That shows you how tough it is. That was the 9th catch of the game for Tim Brown. Robinson trying to sideways his way, gets to about the 30-yard line. Cortez Kennedy dropped him there. Tim Brown has 9 catches for 97 yards. Last week, 4 for 41. He's going to have quite a year if he stays healthy. He had 49 catches all of last season. And again, we've seen him be a possession receiver. You know, he's caught a deep ball for a touchdown. I mean, I think he's trying to set up Dwayne Harper again. I mean, he's run a couple of those little hook routes. Wouldn't be surprised to see a little hook and go again. We approach 1:15 to go in the 3rd. 2nd and 9. A lot of time, and now breaking down. Tua Tagovailoa's gotten there. Now Tua Tagovailoa kept fighting
his way, and he finally got to Hostetler, and a loss back to the 40-yard line.
Remember we said when you double team Cortez Kennedy, somebody else has to make a play. Watch number 96 right there in the middle of this. He's going to get double teamed again. Okay, it's Wisniewski and Mosbar on him. Okay, so what has to happen? Somebody else has to make a play. This time it's Natu Tuatagaloa, number 99, who makes the sack because he gets a single block. I mean, so even when Cortez Kennedy isn't doing it himself, he's setting someone else up.
So the sacks are even, 3 each. Third down and 17. Little screen to Tyrone Montgomery to the 30, and Tyrone Montgomery is stopped short of the first down. It's a flag back at the 49-yard line. Boy, Tyrone Montgomery, they said he's lightning quick, and you could see it there. It's going to come back. It's against the Raiders.
Why do every time I see a guy wearing number 21 for the Raiders, I think of Cliff Branch?
Yep.
Illegal use of the hands. Hands to the face. Number 71 on the offense. 10 yards, still third down.
Well, this is a pass, Gary, that you can appreciate because he really kind of short-armed this one. You know, like you usually do with the dinner check. You know, a few times ago he threw it over the defenders. This time it's just kind of a little boop, a little one underneath the defenders. I mean, you have to be resourceful out there, and I know you always are.
Oh, man. I take such abuse. I can't believe it. 25 seconds left here in the third now. They're going backwards. It's third down now and 27 yards to go.
This is a good defense.
Brown getting in a fever pitch. Hostetler trying to get it all. Willie Galt's down there. So is Gray. Carlton Gray had him pinned on the near side. They jostled each other, but they stopped him.
You ever see Willie Galt go short?
No.
I mean, Willie Galt always goes deep.
Boy, do I like number 26, though.
Yeah, no, he has played well. I mean, Carlton Gray has come up, made some stops on the short, intercepted some balls. I mean, that was incidental contact. He had his head turned, so it wasn't pass interference.
And so the Seahawks get another defensive stop. McLuhan is back for the punt inside the 10. He's going to kick it away from him.
Hit him back there again.
Trying for the corner, didn't get it. It'll be a touchback. Very close to getting that one out in the very corner. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Gossett not happy about that development. Did you read lips?
But he's got a real face mask. Did you see that?
That's impressive.
Football face mask.
Tillman, the defensive coordinator, again has to really be impressed by the fact his team's made 2 good defensive stops in the third quarter. From the 20, first down. Look at Warren just having people dragged along as he's close to the 25-yard line. Derek Hoskins, one of those guys, a strong safety, replacing Ronnie Lott, who went to the New York Jets. It'll bring up a second down and 5.
I tell you, there's a lot of collisions going on there in the running game. Broughton, number 97, played nose tackle. He's getting double teamed. Joe Kelly takes on the fullback, Tracy Johnson. I mean, that's a major league collision right there.
Kelly and Johnson, what a collision. From the 25, second and 5. Warren trying to read something, can't get around there.
Well, not much there, Gary, but one of the things I've been surprised by tonight is how well Seattle has run the ball against this Raider defense. I mean, this is a very good Raider defense. The strength is in the defensive line, good pass rushers, but you know, the Raiders know that Rick Meyer is still.
Third down coming up, 5 yards to go. And we're going to have a timeout called. Seattle going to use it? Nope, we're going to have a timeout with 13:42. Seattle using their first timeout. 13:42 left. 17-10.
James Conn.
Third down and 5 now. Seattle doing something here, and Meyer's going to be sacked instead. And Anthony Smith comes up with another one. Anthony Smith with LA's 4th sack of the night.
Now, the NFL is a game of passers and pass rushers. In '94, Anthony Smith is the best pass rusher for these Raiders. I mean, and we talked about Brian Blades. being a beggar, wants the ball thrown to him every time. He has had a frustrated evening.
Anthony Smith didn't play his rookie year because of an injury. Sports Illustrated says the worst pick in the history of the NFL, and he carries that clipping in his wallet. And he plays now like one of the premier players in the game. That's a 41-yard punt by Gossett. Check that. Tootin, as we now have a 7-point lead with the Raiders. We're going to take another break with 13:15 left to go in the game.
Bob Golick, who's our guest analyst. Bob, since your retirement, first time to see the Raiders live, huh? He's a very emotional guy. He lived on emotion as a player, and he'll live on emotion on the Holiday Inn Stadium show right after the game.
Okay, the Bob and Bob show. We're just checking during that break. Anthony Smith has been given credit for all 4 of those sacks that LA has. If you look at this ball game, 4 sacks by LA. They've had the 1 interception.
I mean, it's been played according to form. Good defense, just a few turnovers. The key thing, though, is Seattle has not gotten the production downfield out of the passing game that Tom Flores said they had to have to beat the Raiders.
From the 44, Hostetler will start this drive. Willie Gault goes in motion. Robinson and Cortez Kennedy. How quickly he got over there.
The way the Raider defense is playing, Gary, this can be a game-clinching drive by this Raider team. I mean, they're up by 10 points now, 17-10. Their defense has played pretty well all afternoon, or all evening. Hostetler knows that. Up by 7 points, excuse me. The Raiders are up by 7 points. And Hostetler knows that. But if they can find a way to get 3 points, maybe even 7 here, I mean, it's going to be awfully tough to beat this Raider defense.
Cortez Kennedy recognizing that. Stopped that last play for no gain. Hostetler far side and can't hang on. Ethan Horton, he was turning, adjusting to the ball, and Eugene Robinson powdered him. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. So 2 back-to-back strong defensive efforts by Seattle. So it brings up 3rd down and 10. Robinson out of Colgate. He's the general back there, calling all their defensive sets.
Well, you know, Rusty Tillman in years past used to be able to rely on Rufus Porter in a situation like this. Rufus is out and not playing. So again, it's going to be guys like Cortez Kennedy. They've got a rookie in there named Michael McCrary who had a sack a week ago. Somebody in that defensive line has to be the one that puts the pressure on Hostetler.
On a 3rd and 10, the blitz coming. Robinson, they pick it up. Hostetler throwing, and it's dropped. The ball was going to be enough for a 1st down. Willie Gault somehow had it come out of his grasp at the 42, and it's a 4th down.
Well, that's what happens when you send Willie Gault short. You've got to send him deep. So this is a heck of a play by Hostetler to stay alive because Robinson has a clean shot at him. And then Horton comes in and picks him up. But then he sees a big passing lane there. And Rusty Tillman, the defensive coordinator, is a happy guy.
He got a break there. Gossett to punt the football. McLuhan, anticipating he's going for the corner, gets over there and watches it go out of bounds.
That's a heck of a punt again.
They're going to mark it just about the 15. In fact, right on the 15-yard line. 40-yard punt that time by Gossett. Seattle still down by 7 with another opportunity. Needs to get something going. Down by 7. 12:21 left in the game. Meyer to Brian Blades, and Blades makes the catch out to the 22-yard line. Let's look at the last 3 possessions for the Seahawks. See how tough it's been.
Punt, interception, but look at the yards, 3, 5, and -5. Remember, we said a year ago they averaged 16 yards of possession. Well, they're doing worse tonight. I mean, I think the Seahawks team is going to be a better football team because I think Rick Meyer is going to develop into a big-time NFL quarterback. But tonight, they wanted to get the ball downfield some. He hasn't been able to really do that.
Picked up 9 on the last play. Howie Long comes bursting across.
But that was a smart play by Rick Meyer because he picked up a free 1st down. I mean, he saved the hard count for Howie Long to a 2nd and 2.
Before the ball was snapped, the encroachment, number 75 on the defense.
Well, they always talk. 5th penalty against the Raiders for 30 yards. Chris Warren, who is on the move to the 45-yard line, first down. And again, that deceptive speed. He just roared up the middle, picks up 16 yards on the play, and this crowd now sensing something.
Chris Warren doesn't take much time to make up his mind. But when there's a hole like this and you get a lead block like that from John L. Williams, it doesn't take long to make up your hole, make up your mind. And John L. Williams again, Gary, threw the key block.
81 yards on 18 carries and a touchdown for Warren. Play action. Meyer beautifully faked it, and he's dumped. Willie Broughton came flying through and dropped it. That little play action was just enough time to give 97 time to get there.
If it isn't Anthony Smith or Howie Long or Nolan Harrison, it's Broughton, who's really a backup defensive lineman. Again, they have some depth. They have some real depth in this defensive line for the Raiders. Chester McLaughlin is out with an injury. Broughton's filling in for him. He did a nice job there.
5 sacks now for the Raiders. Loss of 8 on the play. 2nd and 18. Little screen to Warren. Late getting started, but Warren tips over. He's going to take it to the 42 before Mike Jones drops him there. That play got started so slowly, but Warren with a burst goes for 21 yards, and they're in the Los Angeles end of the playing field. First down.
Okay, the thing about a screen, if you can get the first block, you have a chance of a play. And they get the block on number 99, Winston Moss, the linebacker for the Raiders. See Winston Moss, number 99, the left of the screen? Anytime you throw a screen pass, that's the most critical thing. Get that first block, then you have a chance. They got him. And then Chris Warren again makes up his mind quickly, and he's gone.
To the 42-yard line. John L. Williams in the backfield. Also Reuben Mays, and that's the first carry of the game for Reuben Mays, who played so well through the years for the New Orleans Saints. He's been hurt. Didn't play last week, but Mays, a little change of pace. So they got him in the backfield, snuck him in there, and he picks up a yard on the play. He had a 1,000-yard year his rookie year for New Orleans.
He had a couple of big years for New Orleans. Then he had some Achilles.
2nd and 8. Out, being chased, gets rid of it, and real pressure coming that time. Guess who it was? Yeah. Anthony Smith again.
So we talked about him being productive. I mean, he's only on the field really in the pass rushing situations. He has had 4 sacks tonight, and he's constantly put pressure on the quarterback. This on the chase from behind. He's an upfield kind of rusher, a great chaser from the backside. A little stunt as he comes inside this time. But of all the Raiders, I think per play, he is the most productive.
He's got to be a candidate for MVP, don't you think?
He's got my vote.
3rd down now, 8 yards to go. Movement up front. Flag. They may have a free play here. They get it off to Warren, and he won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. But it looked like Nolan Harrison lined up on the center, fired off. There's Harrison, number 74. Offside against the Raiders. The penalty. Trips formation to the near side. 4 wideouts. And a delayed handoff to Warren, and that didn't fool the Raiders for a moment. Patrick Bates was one of those, the safety, number 29, the rookie, who stepped up. Their number 1 pick out of Texas A&M, and he was there.
Yeah, that was a well-designed blitz, because the blitz was going to take away the pass because Rick Meyer wasn't going to have a chance. But it also, they got in the run lanes. I mean, they were going to take away any inside run or draw or screen with the inside blitz by Patrick Bates.
Well, I don't know if they can try to set up that way without more protection for Meyer. With 4 wideouts, nobody there. So now a field goal attempt coming up by Casey, 57 yards. His career long is 54. So this would be a career long at the 7:55 mark of the 4th quarter. Casey's kick on the way. And the kick is good. A personal best. And the Seahawks have cut it to 17-13.
11, Andrew Glover, 6'6". He's the backup tight end. Thought he had a chance to block that one. Pete, number 64, was penetrating.
Well, he's 6'6". He couldn't get up there, and Casey kicks this one very high, but not very long. And it's going to be taken by Alexander Wright, and Wright brings it out to the 25-yard line. Let's take a look now at the rest of our scores in week 2. And the 2, will Emmitt Smith be back next week?
That was the discussion today, wasn't it?
First down now from the 25-yard line. 17-13. The Raiders. Steve Smith bouncing off of people. Maybe got a yard gain or 2 with a good second effort. Eugene Robinson coming up from the safety spot to make that tackle.
This Seattle defense, we talked, Gary, how well they have played, and indeed they have played well tonight. Now Jeff Hostetler's missed 5 of his last 6 passes. One was dropped, of course, by Willie Gault. But this Seattle defense certainly has played well enough to win this game. Seahawks trail by 4 points right now, and it's up to Rusty Tillman's defense again to give his offense at least 1 or 2 more shots.
Robinson and Smith in the backfield. Horton comes in motion. Over the middle, and that will be very close to the first down. Ethan Horton coming back to make the catch. Horton has just been revitalized by the addition of Hostetler because he looks to the tight ends, and that means number 88 will be a busy man.
Yeah, you're right. I think Horton is going to really prosper in this offense. You know, got 33 passes a year ago, caught 6 passes last week. And particularly as people pay more and more attention to Tim Brown on third downs in particular, Ethan Horton's going to become more and more of a factor.
Third down, less than a yard to go. Greg Robinson's got it. Breaks out of there and has additional yardage to the 43. That shows you how strong this rookie is out of Northeast Louisiana, who was hurt in college, dropped in the draft to the 8th round, and starting. He starts in place of the injured Nick Bell, and they released Gaston Green this week, who they had picked up. So they have a lot of confidence in this rookie.
Boy, they really sealed off the inside, allowed him to come here. That was the key. And a 3rd and short yardage, you seal the inside, you kick out with Wisniewski, and your running back follows the block, and you're pulling guard.
First down just short of the 44. Robinson again, trying the other side and pumping the legs and moving the pile. That's close to the 48-yard line. Terry Wooden was one of there in the pack trying to drop him there.
These are the type of games and the time in games that offensive linemen love, I think. Because, again, the Raiders are trying to protect this 4-point lead, and offensive linemen know if we could just get 2, 3 more first downs, we're going to win this football game, and if we do, we're responsible for it. I mean, this is, and these guys have responded in years past. When the Raiders have been great, their offensive line has controlled the games in situations like this.
Second down and 5. Horton comes in motion. Robinson just keeps moving people backward as he's to the 47-yard line. Appears to be just short of the first down, which will bring up a 3rd down. Look at the legs on this guy. Robinson, they check him in at 208 pounds at 5'10", built low to the ground, low center of gravity. They're going to measure to see if he got the first down.
You know, Greg Robinson looks like he has a nice future ahead of him. You know, Nick Bell out for the Raiders tonight with an injury. Will be due back. What they found out in Greg Robinson is they have a guy they can win with. I mean, Art Shell was saying about Greg Robinson during the preseason, because he was an 8th round draft pick, and every time we seem to give him the ball, something good happened. Some good things have happened tonight, too.
He had a brilliant run in the preseason against the Colts for a touchdown of over 70 yards. They're just short, so it's going to break up the 3rd down.
How short do you think that is, Gary?
Oh, I don't know. A millimeter. Does that work?
You don't know your metric system well. That is more than a millimeter.
Is it?
Yes. Yeah, but it plays a lot longer than that millimeter.
Okay, all right. I stand corrected.
That's several millimeters.
Yes. So anyway, it's 3rd down and a short distance.
So again, if the Raiders get into the first down, they get into Jager's field goal range. So this is a big play for the Seattle defense. Always played good short yardage defense, particularly when the crowd gets into it.
You think they might go over the top with this one? Catch him napping? Let's see.
they get the first down. Run the ball.
That's what they're going to do, and it wasn't easy. Hostetler on the sneak. Now the Seahawks feel they've stuffed him. But Hostetler, you got to remember, as big as he is at 6'3", he doesn't have to fall forward very far.
Hostetler is hot.
You get mugged down in that pile, don't you? And they're going to bring the sticks out again. It's either 4th and less than a millimeter, or it's a first down.
You know, certainly a much more efficient team, and I think a lot better team.
Well, they got to get the chain on Kink first before they can measure. They have a little trouble there. It's all hung up. Now they've got it. Here's the measurement.
Oh, yeah.
They got it.
Ever since they put Paul Tagliabue's name on the ball became a little longer, easier to make those first downs.
Longer name,
yeah.
Huh? From Roselle to Tagliabue, is that how it works?
There's some collisions here. Some things are happening. Offensive linemen know the game's in their hands.
So with now 4:14 left in the game, they have a new series from the 46-yard line, protecting a 17-13 lead. This time they're going to lose yardage. Robinson, that just didn't get started well at all. Looked like he stumbled, and then all of a sudden Cortez Kennedy was there, and also on the play Jeff Bryant, the veteran. Cortez Kennedy leading this team now. This entire second half, he's made so many big plays in the middle of that line, trying to keep them close and get the ball back for their offense. Now with 3:36 left in the game.
I think what everybody respects about Cortez Kennedy, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the score, regardless of the fact they went 2-14 a year ago, this is a guy who gives you everything he has on every down.
8 tackles for Cortez Kennedy today. Second down, 12. Robinson gang tackled, got back to maybe the original line of scrimmage. Boy, there's some frayed tempers out there right now as they get out of another pile. It'll bring up third down and still virtually 10 yards to go.
And they need about 10 yards to get in field goal range. This is the most critical third down of the game for the Seattle Seahawks. You know, look at the 40-second clock went to 0 before the ball was snapped. That should have been a penalty on the Raiders.
Delay of game is not spotted. Third down, almost 11. Hostetler scrambling around. Cortez Kennedy getting chased. And Hostetler takes a real shot. He's short of the first down as he spun down at the 40-yard line. Raphael Robinson was over there, but it was Kennedy who strung him out to the near side until help could come. Let's watch the effort of Cortez Kennedy.
Yeah, we talked about Kennedy coming after you no matter what the score, no matter whether his team's winning or losing. Again, good standoff there by Mosbar, the center. But it's not good enough. He's going to keep hustling. He's going to keep trying to make a play. But Gary, here now is where I think Jeff Gossett becomes such an important key for these Raiders.
Well, we'll come back to develop that. We've come to the 2-minute warning. 17-13. The Raiders, they have a fourth down. Be a good one.
I mean, he pins him back, you know. Helani too. Again, we can see a wide shot of this thing. Watching again, he's going to pin this guy in one of the corners, and we'll watch the coverage how they just pin him into the sideline.
Oh, Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith.
No question. 4 sacks. I don't know how many tackles he has.
Lonnie, we are on the same page tonight, brother. Great job by the crew. Great job.
Hunter was shaken up on that play. We haven't.
Okay.
Look at Gossett talking to him now. What could he be saying?
Again, he's going to talk about pinning him back during the. Oh, there's
Steve Smith.
Pinning him back in the corner.
It's been a battle. Boy, I tell you, Cortez Kennedy just plays every down, doesn't he? I mean, he just doesn't. That's Smith, 5 tackles, 4 sacks.
Okay, I already mentioned that.
I'd like to finish up this thought.
Yeah, you take it.
Johnson,
You want to?
okay?
Let me just set you up.
Yeah, you got it.
Because you mentioned that before we took a break.
Thank you.
Before the break, Pat, you wanted to make a point here about Jeff Gossett.
Yeah, this is a guy that does not punt the ball into the end zone and give a team an easy 20 yards. I mean, you see, he led the National Football League last year in touchbacks, and he does a sensational job, which we've seen of at least twice tonight, of angle punting. He'll either punt the ball out of bounds inside the 15-yard line or give the returner no chance to get it back because he pins him there in the corner where all the coverage is.
That returner is McLuhan, standing inside the 10. 2 minutes left. Seattle has 2 timeouts left. And they try to draw him offside on this.
Yeah.
And there's a penalty flag. As the play clock expiring, they'll take a 5-yard penalty. Delay a game.
Now the Seahawks are thinking block the punt. The Raiders wanted to see where they were going to line up, where they might come from, change their protection some.
Delay by the offense, 5 yards, and it's still 4th down.
Gives them a little more room to work with here.
Sure.
I think there was some debate by Seattle whether they would take that penalty.
It is nail-biting
no fingernails
time.
left, right?
He's done a great job, Steve Ortmeyer, on the special teams.
Gossett now standing at the 40. McLuhan watches it, got too much of it, I believe. Well, wait a minute, where are they going to mark it? No, he's walking up the field and at the 8-yard line.
Great job.
From our angle, it looked like he might get that one into the end zone, but instead at the 8, and that's what you talked about, the placement punting of Jeff Gossett. What a weapon he can be.
Yeah, the deep receiver back here immediately is going to react. He sees Gossett turn, he's running. It's like a center fielder going after a line shot. Tell you what, though, that is a weapon. Forcing Rick Meyer, a rookie quarterback, to go 92 yards, and he knows he's done his job.
Well, he's the oldest punter in the NFL at 36 years of age, and he's certainly been effective here tonight. From the 8 now, a long ways to go for Seattle. 1:54 left. They have 2 timeouts remaining. Down 17-13. Meyer's going to run. And gets out to the 10-yard line, a gain of a couple of yards. So mark it just about on top of the 10-yard line. Stopping the clock with 1:48 left to go.
You know, Gary, we talked about a little bit about Art Shell, how he feels about this team. But if the Raiders go on to win this game, and they're leading by 4 points now with 1:48, this is a Raider team, I think, that is going to sneak up on some people. There are a lot of people picked him to finish 4th in the league. And when your quarterback looks like that, you know you have a chance to win in the NFL. And this is a tough, physical quarterback in Jeff Hostetler.
2nd down. They gave him 3 on that play. 2nd and 7. Meyer, a little screen, complete to Warren. Warren comes out of there to the 20, the 25. Warren to the 30-yard line. Stiff arms the defender and gets out to the 31. James Trapp, a rookie, came over and tried to tackle him, and he took a real shot as he tried to run him out of bounds and eventually did.
I'll tell you, the longest pass plays the Seahawks have had tonight are some of these inside screens. And largely it's been because of Chris Warren has been able to not only catch the ball but make up his mind quickly, run over some people, run through some people, and outrun some others.
Boy, with he and John L in the backfield, they've got 2 guys that can catch the ball and make something happen. 1st down now to the 31. Meyer on target. Catch is made by Doug Thomas, and that's the first time we've called his name tonight. He is the 3rd-year man from Clemson. He is their fastest wide receiver. A pickup of 7. It'll be 2nd down coming up. Crowd not liking the way Doug Thomas was mishandled on the far side.
Seahawks have 2 timeouts remaining.
2nd down. Let's make it 4 yards to go. The delay to Warren, and he gets out of real trouble. He ran out of the tackle of Howie Long, but he doesn't get away from Terry McDaniel.
You know, we called Howie Long the disruptor. I mean, he's disrupting the 2-minute drill right now.
And they're inside. Well, they're right at a minute, and they're going to have to use a timeout.
Well, did he run out of bounds? Didn't he go out of bounds?
They say he was in the field of play.
But watch again this disruptor Howie Long. I mean, he gets off on the count so fast that he can really, you know, cause offensive linemen an awful lot of problems.
See, he was in bounds before he rolled out, so they used their second timeout. They have one remaining. 1 minute exactly left.
Yeah, and he was looking for the hole.
This guy coached over in the World Football League in London. And looking for a magical play right now.
Remember at the very beginning of the broadcast, Gary, though, we said what Rick Meyer has to do are two things. Stay out of 3rd and long. And now they find themselves in 3rd and about 8. And secondly, had to get some production, 20, 30-yard pass plays. They've gotten a couple of long pass plays out of screens, but now they find themselves with 1 minute left in the game in a 3rd and long against Anthony Smith in particular and guys like Howie Long.
The ball is just across the 32-yard line. Of course, the field goal will do them no good. They're down by 4 with 1 minute left in the game. Seattle last week was trying to drive late in the game. They were trailing 18-10. Got down on the 1-yard line and fumbled. Here they have another chance to move goalward again. Meyer complete to Williams. Williams will not get the first down. That's going to be short. Stopped at the 38-yard line. It's 4th down. Clock with 50 seconds left.
Okay, now on 4th down here, all the receivers have to be absolutely certain they do not. I mean, they run past the first down markers.
Clock is stopped. They replace the ball. They'll put it back into motion. 47 seconds. 4th down and 4. This is the last gasp here. Doug Thomas at the 50. First down. They're still alive.
So they're going to use their last timeout.
They will use their last timeout. A 12-yard pickup on the play. Meyer to Doug Thomas, who's caught 2 balls on this last drive of the game. Boy, there's people bent over grabbing their pants right now and their socks. They are tired out there. Look at them. The offense from Seattle, but they still have a chance. They're now 50 yards away.
Well, Rick Meyer, though, is a composed guy. Howie Long is a composed guy. And what you have here, it's real simple. With 32 seconds left in the game, he knows he has to score a touchdown. He hasn't had much production out of the wide receivers, but his big wide receiver, the big speed guy, is Doug Thomas.
Coming up, the Holiday Inn Stadium Show. Kevin Kiley, Bob Neal, Bob Golick bringing you highlights, interviews all around the NFL. As we have 32 seconds left, Meyer for the night, 14 of 20, 149 yards. He's now hit 4 passes in a row. But this is a tall order, 50 yards away and no timeouts left.
Yeah, the Raiders safeties are deep. We've got 3 of them lined up across the defense. Don't let the touchdown. Keep everything in front of you.
Meyer behind Chris Warren. Terry McDaniel defending on the play. That'll stop the clock with 27 seconds.
Now these safeties, they have 3 safeties here, right here for the Raiders. Keep everything in front of you. You're leading by 4 points. The only thing that can beat you is a touchdown. You got 3 guys back there with some speed. Even if they catch it in front of you, it's not going to kill us.
Rob Thomas has come in at a wide receiver, a guy who played 5 years for Kansas City. Number 86, he's in the picture. He'll go split to the top of the field.
And if the Seahawks are going to have a chance, Gary, it's going to have to hit a receiver on the move. You can't have your back to the defense and get hit after the catch. You got to catch it and run.
Meyer up the field, and it's intercepted. Patrick Bates, the rookie, comes up with a deflection, and that'll do it at the 23-yard line. He recovered a fumble in the opening kickoff of the season last week. Been a pretty opportunistic player. So Meyer falls short, and a grinning Al Davis has a team now that's 2-0.
Well, for the 2nd week in a row, the Seahawks have been driving at the end of the game. And the 2nd week in a row, it's been a turnover. And if the Raiders have a change on offense with Hostetler, on defense, the Raiders have had a change forcing the turnovers, the interceptions, and the fumbles. This is a much, and there's Gunther Cunningham, a much improved Raider team, Gary.
They catch Cleveland at home next week, who will be coming off the Monday night game. Then they get a bye before they go to Kansas City. So the Raiders have gotten this 1993 season very successfully started. They're 2-0. The Seahawks will go to 0-2. They will be in New England next week. Then they go to Cincinnati and San Diego at home before they get a bye week. So Art Shell has picked up the victory. And the Raiders with a 17-13 verdict here in the Kingdome in Seattle. Be sure and stay with us for the Holiday Inn Stadium show. We'll be back with some final thoughts in the second week of the NFL season. Yes, sir. Okay, and is that still up to date? 5 tackles, 4 sacks. Okay, good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see him.
Okay. Sure.